Good evening, everybody. Tonight in the Tavern, oh, Captain, my captain, and the picks. We're going to spark up some conversation, and we're going to talk about who's going to win the FedEx Cup. And we're not making any promises on Dave's shameless plugs. So let's get into it. What's up? Non-virtual Dave. And we're unmuted now. You're good.
No,
How are you, buddy?
Your entry skills are not as good as Greg. Let's just put that one out there.
I think we should rotate that through, by the way, so we get some practice on that. Happy Tuesday.
How was your weekend?
Hello from 30,000 feet. Greg watching from afar. It was good. I made a putter change this weekend, Dave.
Yeah. I think you tried to call me, and I was a little occupied this weekend.
Yeah, I made a putter change. I've been struggling with my blade and pulling a lot of putts. And I went, one of our former guests, one of our past guests. He's actually been on the show twice, once on this here live and at the PGA show with us.
Yes.
Simon Millington from Golf Brands Inc. And I put a zebra blade or mallet in my bag, and I haven't putted with a mallet putter, and I don't know how. I don't know. I rolled it great and shot even par, so it was great. So I was pretty excited about that. So how was your weekend?
Well, we finished up harvest this weekend, so there's my shameless plug right there. We finished up harvest in the vineyard. I got everything going and fermenting, and so we're getting ready for the in-town festival.
Nice.
But speaking of shameless plugs, I'm not going to talk about the wine. Not talking about the wine.
Boy.
I know. Hey, big thing, big help for me this weekend. We talk about it all the time. Oars and Alps, big, recovery, and then got a new pair of popsicles out here. Thanks to the team out there. I have my glasses on right now. But really happy to get these. I broke my other pair, and they are the Popsicles. Popsicles is going to take a look at them for me to see what happened. But shout out to Popsicles and Oars and Alps. Kind of after doing all the harvest, that really helped me out there. So there's my shameless plugs.
Hey, Brad, can we update the drinking game so that when Dave goes shameless plug, it's like shotgun? Like you have to finish your drink when he shameless plugs? Because I feel like that's kind of dangerous.
Hey, I did not shameless plug the wine.
You're right. You did not. So
you actually look better through these, so I may just leave them on.
Hey, fine, whatever. I do want to give a shout out before we get going today, and it is not golf related. I want to give a shout out to Central Florida town here, Lake Mary, Florida, and the Little League World Series champs. And pretty excited about
I gotta help Will get something down.
Okay, well, I'll just continue to Lake Mary, Florida, winning the Little League World Series this weekend. I hope everybody watched that. It was an amazing, still kind of in shock after the win. And right, what a final play. Like, that was unbelievably fun to watch. And shameless plug also. This is kind of a shameless plug, but if you're in Orlando this week on Thursday at 1:30, Disney's giving them a parade down Main Street at the Magic Kingdom. So very well deserved. Congratulations to the Lake Mary team. It was awesome to watch. So
amazing, able to get a bunt down and move that runner over.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So
now, if you go back and you watch the video, if you see the international pitcher, he picks up the ball, and as he's here looking to fire at the first baseman, you see out of the corner of his eye, he notices the first baseman standing right next to him, and he just couldn't hold on to the ball.
So, all right, let's jump into first round because I think we've got a jam-packed show tonight. So let's jump in.
I do.
Oh, Captain, my captain. Keegan for the win.
Keegan for the win. And so, I'm going to tell you, I think I know where Keegan won this tournament on Sunday. And it's not the shot on it's not the shot on 17.
Which was stupid.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody wants to know, that shot he had on 17 was dumb. But
it was ridiculous.
No, I'm going to tell you where he won it was Adam Scott's putter for leaving him alone for 3 straight holes.
No. His bogey on 14 out of the sand.
Yeah, that was a really good bogey.
That was for what he did out of that sand playing sideways.
Yeah.
That ball could have taken off into the water.
No other shot. So,
and to make bogey out of there, I think for Keegan that settled him down. And I think right then and there, minus Adam Scott's putter, going the way of the dodo bird, that's what won it for him right there.
So, President's Cup 6 locks are locked up now.
Correct. Our 6 locks right now on the U.S. side are Scotty, Xander, Colin Morikawa, Wyndham Clark, Patrick Cantlay, and Sahith Theegala is number 6.
Right.
Beating out Sam Burns.
Wait, we're gonna get into our picks. And
yeah.
I think we're gonna let Greg. We have virtual Greg because Greg's at 30,000 feet.
Virtual Greg.
Virtual Greg. So we're gonna let Greg go first.
Good evening, everyone. You've had virtual Dave, you've had virtual Steve, but this is your first time having virtual Greg. And we're talking about the President's Cup here right now. So I know Dave and Steve have probably already talked their picks or maybe about to talk theirs, but just like we did with the Ryder Cup, we need to talk about who's going to be the captain's picks for the President's Cup coming up here for Team America, Team USA. And where I'm going to go with this is pretty simple, is 7, 8, 9, 10 in the rankings. So that's Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Russell Henley, and as a playing assistant captain, Keegan Bradley. I think they've all earned their way onto this team. I think especially Keegan with the way he's playing now. I think Keegan's one of those, which is going to go to my next 2 picks is going to be about who's earned it because they're playing the best right now. And that's where I think I'm really going to go with this. But we're going with Sam Burns at 7, Tony Finau at 8, Russell Henley at 9, and Keegan Bradley at 10. They should make it in. They're playing well. They've had a consistent year. I think this is going to be a good lead into the Ryder Cup. I think this is going to be good for Keegan Bradley for being the captain of the Ryder Cup next year. So this will get him to see some players play alongside of them. This is a great stepping stone for that. So that's why I think Keegan should be in there. Sam Burns is playing well. Tony Finau, I went back and forth on, but I think he's at a good spot. I think in these places, I'm going to take those 4 right there at 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then I am skipping 11 and 12. I am skipping Homa. I am skipping Brian Harman. I think that they're not playing the best right now. I think Homa's really struggling. I don't think that I don't think it would be a bad pick, but I think there are better picks right beneath that. So I'm going with my next pick, Chris Kirk. I think he's been playing really well right now, and I think that he would be a good addition to this team, and it would be a good addition to let Keegan see him how he's playing right now and see how maybe picking outside of where people are ranked might actually help the team because they're playing better right now. And I think Chris Kirk is playing a lot better right now. He has played his way to where he is and deserves a spot on this team. After that, I'm skipping down to 17. I think there's a lot of players there. Ashkay, I was one I went back and forth on, but he was struggling this last week. Hasn't had the consistency that I'd like to see there. So I went down to 17, and this is a guy who I think has had a phenomenal year, and I think 17 is too low of a ranking for him, and he's been playing really well. I'm going Billy Horschel with my last pick on here. I think that he deserves a spot on here. I think he would be a great addition to this team. I think with that, having now Scotty Scheffler, Xander, Colin, Wyndham, Cantlay, Theegala, Then you're going Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Russell Henley, Keegan Bradley, Chris Kirk, and rounding out with Billy Horschel. And those are my picks for the President's Cup. I would have picked Bryson DeChambeau if Liv was eligible. I think he would have been a good addition to this team, but Liv are not eligible in the President's Cup. I don't know the whole reason behind that, but I looked this up today. So there are my picks. I'll send it back to Steve and Dave, and I hope you guys enjoyed Virtual Greg more than you enjoy Steve and Dave tonight.
All right, so for clarification, I just want to go in. The answer to why Liv is not eligible is that the PGA Tour runs the President's Cup. Yeah. And because the PGA Tour runs the President's Cup, no Liv player is going to be eligible for that.
Correct. Here's Greg, what I'm going to say.
Go with your picks. Let's go with our picks, and then we'll see who we got that's different.
Yeah, Virtual Greg is not the best. We all know Virtual Dave is the best. You know, the one and only, always duplicated. You know, the original. Live Greg and Live Steve is a lot better than Live Dave, and we all know that, and I think Scott can agree with that too. But my picks here, I'm taking the same top four that Greg did. I like Sam, Tony, Russell, and Keegan. I'm not gonna beat that into the ground anymore. With that, part of me, and I'm gonna preface this, and Bradley, I'll take my drink right here. Part of me wants to take JT, but I'm not going to do it.
There's part of me that doesn't mind that pick, and I will get into that here in a minute.
Yeah, but I do like Ashke. I'm going to take him as my fifth person there. I'm going to take Ashke, and I think he's played well under. He may not have come through in the clutch, but he's played really well under pressure in a lot of tournaments. So far this year, I see him pairing very well with Segala or Sam Burns or even Wyndham Clark as a pairing right there. And then like we all know my feelings on Max Homa this year from a betting standpoint with odds with Dave. And so I'm skipping Homa. I'm skipping Brian Harmon. I'm skipping Chris Kirk. I'm going to skip Eric Cole, skipping Denny McCarthy. And it really came down to me between 17, 18, and 19. And you know what? I think I've talked myself into my last captain's pick here. I'm going to take JT. I'm taking Justin Thomas just from an experience standpoint on where he's been with everything. He's come on pretty strong here at the end of the year. So I'm going to take the 7 through 10, Sam, Tony, Russell, and Keegan. And then I'll skip down and take Ashke and skip all the way down to 19 and take JT.
Okay.
I talked myself into it.
You did
off of Tom.
All right. So I'm going to go a little different direction, and I'm going to catch you off guard here. So part of my problem with the players that automatically qualified is Colin has 0 wins this year. Patrick Cantlay has 0 wins this year, and Sahith has 0 wins this year. Okay. When you go down the list, Sam Burns has 1 second-place finish, and you want to know when that was?
March?
This weekend.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The other problem that I have with Sam Burns is in the last Ryder Cup and President's Cup combined, he's 1-5-2 in match play. You
can't argue with it. You can't. But so eventually it's got to get better.
Someone who you looked at and said, no, who I will agree hasn't played well since Augusta, really, Max Homa, is 7-1-1 in that same time frame.
Part of me with Max Homa is the odds part of it with me. And I just
But again, let's go back to the Ryder Cup. He was the only player in Team USA at the Ryder Cup that had a winning record.
Well, guess what? Major League Baseball players get paid on past performance when they're past their prime, too.
That's true. I'm going to tell you I'm going to take Tony, and I'm going to take Keegan.
Yep.
I'm looking at Tony and Keegan. Tony doesn't have a win this year. Another one that doesn't have a win. Keegan only has 1 win this year. Sam Burns also, by the way, second place finish, 1 third place finish. Russell Henley scares me. And I will tell you why. A year ago, as we were talking about prepping for the Ryder Cup, we talked about everyone's like, oh, you got to take Cam Young. You got to take Cam Young. And I was one that said you don't take Cam Young because he's a terrible putter. And you don't want a terrible putter playing in a match play situation. Russell Henley, by stats, is the number 1 putter on the PGA Tour, which is pretty impressive. The problem is he doesn't hit it out of his shadow. So you either have to pair him and he's either going to play better ball, but he's not going to play alternate shot because you need to take advantage of alternate shot in the bigger hitters. So I'm actually going to take Max Homa, Tony Finau, Keegan Bradley. I'm going to take Chris Kirk over Russell Henley.
Okay.
And this is where this gets even crazier for me. I'm taking Akshay.
Yep.
Because he has a win this year. And he has 2 wins in the last 16 months. And I'm taking a player that has 2 wins this year that isn't in the top 25 in Nick Dunlap because he's only been getting points since February. And he's 28th in points.
Because he was an amateur.
And he didn't get points for this on his win at the American Express. So I'm going to take Nick Dunlap.
You're looking at Nick Dunlap as your Ludwig for the Ryder Cup.
Correct. And a player that's going to be on the Ryder Cup and President's Cup for years to come because the dude's a stick. Now, here's the thing that I'm also doing. I like your Justin Thomas pick. And I will say this. If Justin finishes top 10 this week, I think Justin goes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. Chris Kirk may be the odd man out. And at that point, you're taking Justin.
Yeah. Justin he's really come on.
Here's my problem.
He started playing better. I think he's found his putter again. His driver's kind of.
I feel like if you take Nick to Alabama,
yep,
they played a lot of golf together because that's where Justin went. You take Akshay, you need Justin in the team room because you don't have a lot of team room experience.
Right, and that was kind of my thinking behind it. I talked myself into it. You have Keegan. But you need another person. And if Keegan is playing vice captain and as he's going to be vice captain and he's a playing captain right now, we all kind of assume right now in our virtual little world here that Keegan's going to be selected as one of the Furyks 6 picks here.
Mm-hmm.
You need another voice in there. And as young as Justin Thomas is, he kind of has more experience in these events than even Scotty does.
A ton more experience. Like when you're looking at Scotty, and yes, Scotty had a great year, and he's probably the guy that everybody's looking to lead the team right now. Think about the fact that we don't have Ricky Fowler, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth. We don't have the stalwarts that have played on these teams. We don't have Tiger anymore. We don't have those guys. Even I'll say Stuart Sink and those guys that have been around this. You don't have those guys there. So at this point, I mean, Scotty, Xander, and Patrick, I kind of feel like JT needs to be involved somehow because I think you need his voice in the locker room. But yeah, I'm going to go and take Nick Dunlap and kind of surprise, I'm sure, a few people here. I am nervous, and I will say this. I think there were a lot of people that when everybody went to live said that the international squad could not compete against the Americans. And the problem that I have with that is in Canada, they're going to probably take 4 Canadians on this team and have 4 Canadians on this team. I actually think they may be on paper favorites.
Right now, the top 6 on the international side is Hideki, Sungjae Im, Adam Scott, Tom Kim, Jason Day, and Byung-Hun An. Whatever. Corey Connors, Cam Davis, Minwoo Lee, Christian Bionzanu, Taylor Pendrith, Nick Taylor, Adam Hadwin. There's your Canadians right there.
Yeah. So they're going to probably take 4 Canadian picks and try and get the crowd behind them.
Especially with Mike Weir as your captain.
Well, and you're in Montreal. So
yeah.
I don't know how Nick Taylor doesn't go being the Canadian Open champ and what happened there. So, but yeah, you know what? I see we need to, you ready to jump into happy hour here?
Sure.
All right. Let's jump into happy hour now.
I want to be here, right? Okay.
Hey, before we move on, bring up that last comment from Greg there.
Yeah, I can do that.
I mean, it's not a bad point that Greg makes here is with the President's Cup you never want to lose. We'll put that out there. You don't want to lose, but this is a good point here that you're Keegan's going to get firsthand on team dynamics here. And it's a good sounding board for experience with the President's Cup trying to move into this. So I think trying to work out the kinks here, because I kind of feel that at least the top 5 on the U.S. side will probably be the top 5 in Ryder Cup points as well too.
I would think so too. I would agree with that.
Thagala, maybe he may fall out of that top 6.
I think Thagala is a lock going forward. I think he's one of those players that we're going to have going forward. That is, hold on one second. I forgot to print the questions out for now.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I have them on in front of me on my other computer screen here.
So, you guys hear me talk every week. Spark Golf. I play in a Thursday night Spark Golf League. I'm pretty excited. Charlie and I have known each other a little bit here. And we want to welcome Charlie Kloss to the show. Charlie from Spark Golf. Charlie, welcome to the Tavern. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are y'all? Thanks for having me.
Hey, your neighbor isn't over there because I know your neighbor. Your neighbor isn't over there throwing stuff at you right now, is he?
No, I think he's probably asleep by now.
He's probably asleep by now. He is old.
He is old.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So Charlie, why don't we start and tell us how Spark got started?
Yeah, so we started back. It was a group of guys kind of got together in 2016, kind of ish, and we're 3 of us are from the golf industry. One of us is our CTO, so he's the guy that codes everything and the engineer behind it. And honestly, golf was at a very different place in 2017 than it is now, as far as like public golf, and it was actually kind of like the story wasn't good. There was Wall Street Journal articles being written about the decline of golf and doomsday and whatnot. And we were really looking into looking into the challenges that people are talking about, like why they're stopping playing or why they're not coming into the game, and really wanted to provide solutions. And we tried a few different things, but we really landed on social golf leagues being a concept that we wanted to run with. And honestly, one of the things that we looked at too was at that time, Topgolf probably had maybe 4 or 5 locations. They just opened the one in Brandon in Florida. And we really, when we went and visited, we liked the vibe that they kind of had. It was fun. It was very social. It was welcoming. It was unintimidating for new golfers. And we thought, how can we get that at the public golf facility, the Greengrass facility? And really, we kind of leagues are kind of all that, right? The 9-hole after work league. And when we looked into the space, no one was really doing leagues at a national level. They're all either very local or regionalized at most. And really, no one had technology to run it. So that was kind of the play that we kind of set out and have been fortunate enough to execute.
I feel like Golf Now tried it for a year and then it didn't succeed. So
I think you and Greg and I played in that.
We played in that, and
yeah,
and I feel like what you guys have done is taken it. And again, it's not easy to do. After work, you're getting people out there after work. So I play on Thursday nights, and it's a different atmosphere. And you guys have been very successful at it. And I think it was more of you guys have taken, I feel like, the headache out of it, where when Golf Now was trying to do it, it was almost a headache for everybody, including them and the golf course and everybody else. And you guys figured out how to take that away from everybody.
Yeah, we tried to make it very turnkey for both the golf course operator and the golfer. The inventory is going to be there. All you have to do is register in the app, show up, keep score if you want, and then in play.
Nice.
So what's the format there behind Spark, and how did the leagues? How does it all run?
Yeah, so I would say first and foremost, we were fun and social first. We really wanted to be very welcoming. very unintimidating for maybe your beginner golfer, or golf curious person that is a little, nervous to walk to a public facility. So we do keep score, but you don't have to if you don't want to. For those that want to keep score and take part in the friendly competition, there's basically 3 games going on in every single round. There's a net better ball team game, 2-person team game. There's an individual net ball, and then also individual net skins. So it's definitely all handicap. It's a net game. Handicap formula is the same for everybody. And we want to give everybody a chance to compete in a friendly competition.
Now, let me ask you this. If somebody's nervous, they don't have a partner, do you pair them up with somebody? Can they play on their own? How does that work?
Yeah, so you can do either. We kind of leave it up to you when you sign up. You're able to pick a choice of have Spark partner me up. I'll bring a partner later, or I'll play as a single. And we see a lot of people that will choose I'll play as a single because they don't know anybody yet, and once they kind of meet up singles in the league, that they may partner up then. But we try to make it as flexible for everybody.
So,
yeah.
I want to back up here. So you're both a net and a gross, or are you just one or the other?
So you play your own ball into the hole, enter your gross score in the app, and then, we have your handicap in the app already. We'll calculate your net score. Your net, obviously you got to have a gross score to get to a net score, but your net score is what matters.
So when Steve sandbags out there, is it harder for him to win an event like this, or is it kind of there for everybody?
Yeah, so it's interesting. We obviously sandbagging happens. It's I think in every single net event in golf, you're going to find sandbaggers. That's why we do have a team and an individual. We hope that Steve would also not just go for a team event where he's sandbagging and go for the individual score. And not
Steve's not live golf.
But so that's why we've introduced the individual game kind of after a couple years, because to try to get rid of sandbagging, and also we hope that the brand of Smart Golf just being fun and social will stop sandbaggers, stop cheaters, stop mulligans, that kind of thing. But it doesn't always. But we've got different ways that we kind of look into scoring and handle different situations that may come up.
I just want to point out, Dave, and this is, you're going to laugh at this. I get 0 strokes in Spark right now. My handicap is a 0 for Spark.
There's
my team is at there is, and Charlie can go back and see my scores. I know he can.
Yeah. I think Chris just put that up there as well too.
I am actually, our team is in first place. Now, I am playing with Mike, who gets a lot of strokes. So I take advantage of that where I can. And then I'm actually in first place in the individual too. So, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. So,
as Bradley would say, that's a drink.
That's a drink, yes.
That's awesome to hear.
But Steve just muted himself there. So,
okay, I'm good.
Okay.
So, Charlie, tell us this in breakdown, and we've been talking about President's Cup points and picks and things like that as we lead into this. How are the points calculated for the team and the individual? How does that work?
Yeah, so the number of points you earn is based on where you finish each round in the standing. So first place being the most points, last place being the least. And the total number of points that you can get depends on how many people are playing each round. So some of our leagues, are 64-player shotguns, where that they're going to have the most points. We have other leagues with just a couple tee times that won't have as many points. So we do have market competitions where you can bounce around each of our markets, play different courses. So there's always kind of you can win your league at your specific course on a specific night, or you can bounce around if you got more time to play and win Orlando or St. Louis or Calgary, wherever you may be playing.
I'm going to ask, do you have anything in Mount Pleasant, Iowa?
No, I actually looked, and I was going to bring that up to try. I think the closest one for me is in Illinois or down in St. Louis.
Charlie, he lives in the middle of nowhere in Iowa, so we'll just leave it at that.
I've never I've talked to a lot of golf courses in a lot of areas. Iowa.
I'm down the little southeast corner of Iowa.
Okay. I think Quad Cities we have a few. I know.
Yeah.
So
when I looked at your website, there was nothing up in Quad Cities. Well,
okay.
yeah, Quad Cities area, like Rock Island and everything. That's about a little bit more than it's about an hour 45, 2 hour drive for me.
That's pretty far. That's a long drive to play 9 holes.
It takes me 15 minutes to get there. Dave, you're up.
Oh, we did the point. So when Steve does win, what do the winners get each season?
Yeah, so we've changed this up every year. In the past, it's been a medal that you would win, kind of like what we call like the Spark medal. This year, we're actually giving away credit to a Champ merch store that we have available where you could pay for a medal, you could pay for like kind of other things like, a beer mug, a coffee mug, or like if you want to apply it to bigger ticket items, you can get stuff like Johnny O shirts with like an actual 2024 Spark Champ logo on it. So you can get all different kind of things that seems like people are enjoying so far of the leagues that have ended.
I got to say, I mean, Dave, I could use a new glass for the Tavern then.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Greg's not here. Somebody's got to give you crap all night long.
Charlie, how many locations do you have nationwide?
So we're actually international now, U.S. and Canada, which is awesome. We started adding Canada about 2 years ago, but we had a little over 2,000 leagues this year, 2,000 different courses across the U.S. and Canada.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely grew a lot since 2018.
Yeah, I mean, I played in 2018.
Yeah,
at Orange County here in Orlando. So that was a good time. So
yeah, I think we had 2018 probably had about 50, something like that. So it's been awesome to watch it grow.
Right, yeah.
So do you have a target golfer or a target course you're trying to, is it anywhere from like the public muni to like a 9-hole at your local country club?
So I would say it's definitely public golf. We have a few privates, but very few. Some of them have opened up like a Monday night to us kind of deal. But it's your normal public golf course. I would say price points anywhere from on the low end like $15, $20 to like upwards of like $50 for 9 holes on like kind of your higher quality public golf course. And as far as golfer wise, I mean, we're looking for the person that wants to have fun, be social, meet new people, that probably just doesn't take the game that seriously, but also wants a little bit of a friendly competition as well, here and there.
Yeah. That's a good way of describing it. Charlie, here in Orlando, we are 2 weeks away from the end of the summer season.
Mm-hmm.
And do you guys only play in the summer? Do you have things you go year round? What do you do there?
Yeah, so we go as long as sunset and the weather allows us. So really, it's a daylight savings time business. So Orlando is like a market that we can start the week of March 15th in the last week of October because the weather's so good. But other markets will go. I mean, we have leagues in Canada that will go into October. It's going to get a little chilly at the end. And obviously, once you start getting on the tail end, you got to start bumping the start time up to like 4, 3 o'clock to be able to get done in daylight.
No, that makes sense. I will say this, funny enough, I was thinking about this the other day. I've played 10 rounds now, I think, and haven't been rained out once. We haven't had a rain out night on a Thursday night, which is very odd for Central Florida. Yeah, I know, right? Knock on wood.
Yeah.
So yeah,
you need to get into that Alaska 24 hours of daylight type of tournament up there.
we actually, I don't know if we have them this year. We had 2 leagues in Fairbanks for I think last year or the year before. But yeah, stays light a long time. Michigan as well.
Yeah. So you talk about the fall leagues. You're looking at areas that have light and extended hours. Do you get any pushback from courses that say hey, we need to try and bump the start time up to like 2, 3 o'clock, or are the courses really on board with you getting fall leagues out everywhere?
They're usually on board. I mean, the only thing that will stop it, some courses have like high school golf and stuff like that, where like the inventory is 10. But if the inventory is open and available, I mean, they would like us to fill it. So we've got some great course partners that love hosting Spark Golf.
Charlie, so let's really quickly. I know this is kind of off script for us. Well, you guys do a cool thing, and it's one of the things you guys do, and I'm guessing it's for pace of play. Because obviously playing late in the day, turn out of daylight real quick. What are some of the different things that you guys do also from a pace of play standpoint to keep the play moving so everybody gets done?
Yeah, so Spark Golf, we kind of have our own rule system, a relaxed rule system in Spark Golf. So you can play it up in the fairways. It's all, lateral drop hazard. So you hit it OB, you're going to take a penalty stroke and drop where you thought it went OB. We're pretty lenient on gimmies. So if it's within the length of a standard putter, it's good. And you can pick it up, count it as a stroke. And then we also have max score on every hole. So it's net double bogey on every hole. So if you can't get out of a bunker, you're going to make net double, pick up and go to the next tee. And then we really try to push, pace and keeping up with the group in front of you as much as possible. I mean, that is, especially when you get a big group of a mix of golfers that of low and high handicaps, you're going to, see some things go on and maybe get a little bit slow. So we really try to push max score and keeping up with the group in front of you.
Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, we have some friends over at Tag Golf that have a towel for that putter.
They have Tag Golf made a towel, and the reason they made the towel the length that it was that was what they decided was going to be. Anything inside the towel length was a gimme.
Yeah, that's good.
So
now we're trying to get them to create the Dave, which is a beach size towel for a gimme. For the Dave, it hasn't come to fruition yet. But our friends at Tag Golf have some, Tag Golf, that's a gimme. Yeah. Great things out there for the gimme length. And no, Mike, your driver does not count.
Charlie, so format's still the same going into the fall season?
Yeah, format's the same. Usually in the summer season, your best 10 rounds count. Obviously, the fall season is going to be a little shorter. So depending on the number of actual rounds in the fall season, it could be anywhere from like 3 to 6 rounds will count with the standings.
Nice.
So is someone's looking to play in the fall league or just try and find one of your 2,000 locations, how do they get in touch with you? How do they find Spark Golf?
Yeah, the best way is to go to our website, spark.golf, and you'll see right on the homepage there a nearby kind of finder where you put in your zip code and all the nearby leagues will come up near you. You can check them out. Joining a league is free, so there's no like upfront cost to join a league or become a member of Spark Golf, but you will pay when you register for each round.
Do you do a discount if somebody pays for the season up front?
Yeah, so we do a kind of a buy 9, get 10 rounds. So like get rounds free if you prepay. Nice.
I'm gonna just put this up there and just leave that there for you to read and have a chuckle with. Charlie, thank you for
the rule state putter length.
The rule state putter length. So Charlie, thank you for joining us tonight.
Can it be the long putter? Can it be Adam Scott's long putter?
The standard.
Yeah. And I'm going to just say this because I know Mike is going to say it. Mike, that means you can't use your long putter. Charlie, thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. And I will tell you, I love playing Spark Golf. Thursday nights are a good time. My wife, literally tonight, I was cooking dinner. She's like, "Are you playing golf league on Thursday night?" And I'm like, I kind of have to, I think, because of the way the point structure is. Because I'm actually supposed to go over to Oviedo on Thursday night and go to the UCF home opener. So I may have to skip the home opener and make sure I don't lose our lead in Spark. So
I like that. We appreciate that.
So, but I will say this: go next charge on. So
yeah,
Charlie, thank you.
And I'll keep an eye out if you make it anywhere closer in Iowa. I'd love it. And thankfully, I have some better friends up here than Steve, so works out well for me.
All right, absolutely. Well, Dave, Steve, thank you very much for having me on.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, bye. That was fun.
Yeah, I tell you what, one of the
Mike Lyer using the ball retriever. I love it.
Yeah,
fully extended Hush.
Fully extended. One of the best times I think I've ever had is you, Greg, and I, and Matt Terrell playing in that Golf Now league for as haphazardly as that was run there at Orange Lake.
It's funny. We play at Orange Lake now, and when I tell you,
Chris is on fire tonight.
Chris is on fire tonight. When I tell you how great it's run now, like we get there, our carts are staged, you get out, your name's on your cards, like they do it up, like it's done right, and
they don't yell at you for playing extra holes.
You kind of can't, like we don't tee off till 5:30, and by the time we get done, it is like everyone's just like, yeah, no, let's just go grab a beer. But no, I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and I think unfortunately Steve's not going to be happy with me because I'm supposed to go to the UCF game with him, but I think I've got to skip UCF.
And week. I before this I did check out their website. It's easy to find golf courses in your area, even from my middle of nowhere zip code here. I was able to plug it in, and it gave me things in Rock Island and St. Louis and everything else. So it gives you a whole bunch of option. It's lists the price, anywhere, like he was saying, anywhere from $15 to $30 some there. And if you can find a great golf league that you can be part of, go out and have some fun. That's kind of what golf is about here. Go out and have some fun.
You know what it's a lot like, Dave, is remember when we used to play I like to refer to it as beer league softball down here?
Oh, yeah.
It's a lot like that. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's a good time. Yeah. Like you go out, you have fun. There's some trash.
You have a couple teams that took it way too seriously, and then you had a couple guys that were hammered before they got there.
I mean, I don't really take it
I was
seriously,
on both of those teams.
But yeah, I mean, oh, Michael. All right. On to Smack of the Week, and then we gotta kind of do breakdown and preview because there's a lot going on.
There is.
So let's see this. The Bridgestone mindset. Honestly, probably the reason that we're in first place and I'm in first place because that golf ball is so good and helps you improve so much. So, but
shameless plug,
Dave, and I'm okay with that shameless plug. So here we go.
Ready? Watch the gate.
That was an honor. I know the Olympics just ended.
I've seen that one, and it stays funny every single time.
Every time it's funny. So
every time.
So, but yeah, now we've got to let's move into last call and go from there. We kind of covered it, BMW last week. I really enjoyed Castle Pines as a golf course. Stunning. It's literally stunning. Like the golf course is amazing to look at. One of the things I didn't was I didn't like. Now I understand why they don't really play in Colorado a lot because of the elevation change and how far the golf ball goes. Because it really wasn't fun to watch tour players struggle with distance control.
Yeah, I
don't mind watching tour players struggle, but when you're watching, I mean, the USG, I mean, I think
the cracked face of a driver.
Oh, do we want to go down that road?
Yeah, we got some extra time.
We do have a little extra time. Let's go. Okay. I love the game of golf. I've played the game of golf for my entire life. I had clubs when I was 3 years old. We have the dumbest rules of any sport in America.
Yes.
And I don't understand why. I understand why Rory couldn't replace his driver shaft when he snapped it on Sunday. He did it out of anger.
Yes.
But the rule was so. But here's the problem that I have: if Rory had hit the ball, the head came off the shaft.
He could
He
replace.
could replace it. But if you hit a golf ball, which is what you do,
It's your
right?
job.
That's your job. You have one job. It's to hit a golf ball. And then walk and hit another golf ball. Hit the same golf ball. And the equipment breaks. Would you tell a Major League Baseball player that fouled one off and cracked his bat that he has to use the cracked bat for the remainder of the at-bat?
No. You get a new bat. You
So
get a cut in the baseball.
Why is there some stupid local rule in the USGA? And again, these are the same people that think that rolling the golf ball back is a great idea. And we all know how all of us feel about that.
Yes.
So you crack the face of your driver through the course of competition and you can't replace it?
And here's the thing. The number one golfer in the world walking with him, looking at a rules official saying, this is stupid. Any sport, minus deflating a football, you can replace, that object.
I just don't. Again, the people that sit and make these rules make rules, and I just sit and shake my head, and I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
But again, I saw a stat the other day, and this is going to go to the golf ball rollback thing, and I do not want to go down this road for very long. But the average male hits their 7-iron 138 yards.
Yeah.
And we want to take 10% away from that? And they're going to say, oh, well, we're going to add spin so at higher swing speeds the ball won't travel. No, that's not going to work. Because if you add spin to the golf ball, all it's going to do is decrease where it goes because it's going to make the ball fly higher. It's going to make the ball have more side spin, so it's going to go directional more. It's a stupid idea. Leave the golf ball where it is. Let's not go any further. But, this is dumb. These people that are making these decisions, again, I'm not going to go down that road, but there are some stupid rules in golf.
It's a rule that doesn't make sense, and we've said our piece about it.
The driver face, Matthew Fitzpatrick should be allowed to replace his driver.
Yes.
You break it. To me, if you break it in the course of competition, you should be able to replace it.
Without damaging it yourself.
Again,
I understand
if you
it into the ground that causes damage, swinging in anger, etc.
Right.
Wrapping it around a tree, but
I just
Chris,
again,
that's right. Gentleman's game.
If you go and smack a T marker with your driver and you crack it, that's out of anger. If you hit a golf ball, and it cracks the face, and I've cracked the face of multiple golf clubs. I've cracked the face of a hybrid. I've cracked the face of multiple. Shocking. You're going to be surprised when I say this. TaylorMade M2 3-woods.
Yes.
So I won't carry TaylorMade. I've cracked the face of multiple clubs. I know Greg has cracked the face of an iron. He concaved the face of an iron. And we're going to sit here and talk about the player can't replace that if he hits a golf ball and it breaks.
Right. So.
You know what? Kudos to Keegan. And I will say this 5-iron, let's get back on task. The 5-iron that he 17, where he hit that golf ball with no room to land it and keep it on the green and keep it within 15 feet.
It was ridiculous.
I sat there and I was like this. What'd you just do?
He had a window. He had a window about that big.
He said, I'm going to hit it over.
And he got it there.
And I was like, he's going at it? Because everybody to a player earlier hit it at the right side of the green, left themselves 40 feet.
Yeah.
This was hold my beer. Watch this.
And then he 3 putts for the win.
No, he made birdie there.
On 18.
Yeah, on 18. But the first one wasn't a putt. But he.
Yeah.
I will, again, you afford yourself that luxury by making birdie on 17.
But here's the thing. I love the crowd's reaction to him walking up with the USA chance. I really think since he's been named captain, I think the people have gotten behind him, and that's really good to see.
Yes. I think we're going to see – I'm intrigued to see next Tuesday and where the picks are. But I also want to get into it's going to be an interesting week in Atlanta this week. The golf course was shut down the day. Literally, they started ripping up the golf course during the final round last year. They were ripping up greens to redo the golf course. The golf course has been redone. There are a lot of players that aren't real happy and don't like the golf course now.
No.
So it's going to be
some comments about how many changes they've made and I don't think any of them have been out to play it at all.
No, they were out there today. These were after their rounds.
Well, before that.
A few of the guys knew that they had changed it, so they went in early and played a practice round in the last month. But I'm going to be intrigued to see. I haven't seen any video. I saw some overhead shots of holes and green complexes, and I was like, it doesn't look very Bobby Jones of a golf course.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be intrigued to see how the week plays out. I
don't screw up things Bobby Jones did.
Well, and I think the thing that scares me is the idea of picking this week.
Yeah.
And we could go and talk for hours ad nauseum on the whole flighting the field and starting players and whether you agree with it or not. I really don't. But it is what it is. They do it.
Yeah.
But I again think, like we talked about last week, is there a better way to crown the FedEx Cup champion?
I don't think there is right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's no different than 16 team field in college football, which doesn't exist right now either. That's a story for another day.
We have 12. Hey, listen, we have 12. At least we're to 12, okay?
Yes.
Florida State's probably
better than 4.
Right. So, all right, Dave, let's get into it.
Let's see who we got. All right.
Let's get into it. Here we go. Can we guess the favorites?
I bet you would get. I'm gonna let you try and guess the top 3.
Scotty, Xander.
Yeah.
Ludwig.
No.
Who's third?
Scotty, Xander, Hideki, Rory, Ludwig. So Scotty's coming in at basically 1-1. Xander at 2-1. Hideki at 11. Rory at 16. Ludwig at 20. Morikawa at 30. Keegan at 35. Wyndham Clark at 40. And if we go any farther down the list, there's really no point in what have we been doing all this for all year long.
Correct. Here's the thing that's
our standings. Greg's already taken Scotty. Yeah.
Rory is 6 shots back to start.
The way Scotty played last week, it doable.
Yeah, I mean, he went to a new golf course he hadn't played.
Yeah.
Where are our standings?
So Greg has been out of it for weeks now, but he's already taken Scotty because neither you or I can. So he's at 170. I have finally fallen out of first place by picking Scotty last week, ironically. I'm sitting at 239. Steve, you are in the lead with 242. It is going to come down to this.
So whoever finishes higher this week.
Well, here's the way our scoring works. If you win the tournament, it's 25 points.
Right.
Top 5 is 15. Top 15 is 10. Top 30 is 5 points. You make the cut, which everybody does right now. So if you're sitting outside the top 30, you get 1. So in theory, you and I can both finish between 6 and 15. Huh?
You can't get 1 this week.
No.
Because you'd stop 30 anyway.
Yeah. So in theory, you and I can both finish between 6 and 15, and you would beat me by 3 points. I got to finish in the top 5. You have to finish out of the top 5.
Correct.
Or I have to win with my pick.
So go ahead and take Xander. Go ahead and take Xander.
I'm taking Xander.
Here's my thing. I don't trust Hideki's back at all.
No.
I don't trust Hideki's back to go 4 rounds and stand up as much as I'd like to pick him, knowing that I realistically need a top 5, and that's all I really need.
You have Rory. You can take Rory. You cannot take Ludwig. Here's who you can't pick. Ashke, Ludwig, and Wyndham Clark are the ones you cannot pick.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at. I was considering Ludwig. I really don't want to go. I don't want to go.
Chris, I thought about it. I really did because I haven't picked him in a while, but I can't do that.
Dave, I'm going to take your horse.
I'm going with Rory.
I am going with Rory.
All right.
I'm going with Rory to give me a top 5. And I'll take my chances.
So there we go. We're going to try and finish this out here. And
yeah, I'm going with Rory to give me a top 5. All right.
Hey, then I need a win from Xander.
You need to win. Yeah. Let's go, Scotty.
Yeah.
God, I can't believe I just said that. Dave, have a good week.
You too. Ship Rory your putter.
Right.
Hey, I may need to drop one of those zebra putters in my bag.
I stupidly rolled it the other day. It was just dumb. I hope everybody has a good week. Enjoy the Tour Championship this week. Congratulations to the captain's picks also at the Solheim Cup. And we didn't do it earlier. Congratulations to Lydia Ko.
Yes,
on her win
on the women's
Open and the Women's Open. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this, Dave. I posted it in our Instagram story. She is Team Dormy.
Yes, she is.
She's Team Dormy. So congratulations to
Bishop
Dormy.
Brothers. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Dormy for getting a major victory, which we like. So
yeah.
Hope everybody has an awesome
some Cal Tag and some Dormy now.
Yeah. So I hope everybody has an awesome week. Dave, is the fair this week or next week?
Yep. I set up tomorrow and I'll be out there Thursday through Monday afternoon. Okay. So if you're in Mount Pleasant, come find me.
Come find Dave at the fair.
Yeah.
Find Dave at the fair and enjoy some wine. I'll shamelessly plug Airport Road Vineyards because they have a wine for.
Bring a Golfing Dad's koozie with you.
I mean, if you're there, and you have one, you should. So, hope everybody has an awesome week, and we will see you next Tuesday night.
Tip your bartender. Cheers, y'all.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having an opportunity to build something that's
viral on our TikTok that somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits for 700